Good evening. Welcome. Thank you for joining me tonight on Bigfoot Outlaws Psychic Development with Inbaal. I'm Inbaal, if you haven't guessed. I'm a psychic, tarot reader, and witch, and I teach tarot. Here on the show, we look at different aspects of the psychic world. We look at different types of readings, primarily the tarot, but not only. And we have a beautiful community of people who come together and support each other and learn together and have lots of fun with each other. We're broadcasting live right now on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. So if you're watching us live on any of those platforms, took a long time to find the word, then don't hesitate. Send us a message and it will show up on the screen like this. We've got a message from Mark here who sent it from YouTube. You can see there's a little YouTube mark. And it says, "Good evening, Inbal, on this full hunter's moon. I hope you guys are okay. Love as always. Thank you. Hello, everyone else. Please remember to like and subscribe so you know when Inbal and others are on." We also have a message that came through Facebook, which is from Grizzly, who runs the channel. And it says, "You can support me by sending stars. Stars help me earn money to make more content." So for those of you joining us for the first time, feel free to send a message. Feel free to introduce yourself. Become part of the family. The Bigfoot Outlaw Network touches all the different esoteric aspects. We've got programs about Bigfoot, obviously, about cryptids. We've got programs that cover mediums, numerology, ghost hunts. So if it is a little bit left of center, you probably have it here. And tonight, I thought it would be a lot of fun to talk about exactly what Mark mentioned in his text. He said, "Good evening on this full hunter's moon." The hunter's moon is the full moon of October. And the hunt, and indeed the kill, was what was needed back in the day to make sure that the tribes had meat for winter. In fact, the meaning of Halloween is the meat harvest. It is the third harvest of the year. We've got the fruit harvest it's still in the height of summer. We have the grain harvest at the very end of summer, and we have the meat harvest at the start of winter. So this full hunter's moon has a very similar energy to the meat harvest at the end of the month. October is scary season. It is the witching season, and it is for that reason. So we're going to have a little look at what's going on astrologically. We're going to have a little look at what's going on with the hunter's moon, who is going to be impacted, and also I thought it would be very fun to have a little look at the moon card in the tarot. Let me know if there's anything that you'd like to inquire or indeed add about the full moon. So we've got Kim watching, saying hi everyone. Hi Kim. Did you ever make it back to the end of the horoscope last week? And Edon says, "Hello from the New World." Hello. I think you're going to find a lot of friends from the New World. I'm broadcasting at you live from the UK, but we've got people watching everywhere. Crystal is here and she says, "Hello, everyone." Hello, Inbal. Hi, Crystal. Robert made it and he says, "Evening." And then we've got a few of you greeting each other. I'm not going to read each one of them, but I will flash them up. And then we've got Nilda saying, Inbaal, Mark, Robert, and everyone, blessings. Great to see you here, Nilda. Flashing the rest of them. And then what shall we start with? Mark says, evening, dearest Nilda. I hope that you and yours are good. That's very sweet. Robert says, meat harvest sounds like a massacre. We are broadcasting live on October 7th, so it would. Kim says, no, it's still available on YouTube, on Facebook, and on my Instagram. You can go back to the end. I was actually looking for you. I was like, we're getting to Pisces. We're getting to Pisces. It was like 10 to 11. We're getting to Pisces. And there was like no Kim Princess there. Mark says, the moon card. Always love that card. Not sure why. It's a Pisces card. So, for you, Kim, but it's also a very psychic card because you work within the psychic world. You're an author of specialist psychic topics. It is, I think, a very interesting card for you. Edon says, and let me know if I'm reading it right. I've made a decision not to read what PSU might be. I don't want to figure out, is it Psu? Am I going to say it wrong? So we're just going to go with Edon, what you've got there as your second name. But he or she asks a very good question. Do you have a tarot deck of your own design? And I do not. I'm a tarot reader. I'm no artist. And I love the Thoth deck. I don't think I can top the Thoth deck, but I will say that when I teach the tarot, I always think, would there be any value to me sort of making just a really, really plain, like a really simple sketch of each card where it's only like the main bits of it. When I used to teach like face-to-face courses, remember in the old days. So it was maybe 2001, 2002. I was teaching a face-to-face course in my front room. Back then, it was a very small course. And there was a girl who started the course, and she would make a little sketch in the corner of every page of the card. And I thought that was fascinating, but it was like really, really simplistic sketches. So I have thought, it might be possible if I'm ever minded to put together a tarot deck of my own design, it is likely to be just one that will be helpful for learners, and it will be sort of very, very simple. I have got a lot of friends that have made their own tarot decks, and I think it is a beautiful endeavor to undertake, but I think it probably, helps a lot if you're an artist, which I am not. I've got people greeting each other, very, very sweet. Mark goes, Edon, I have suggested this and other things to Inbaal, maybe one day. Hey, yeah, if it fits, it fits. At the moment, I don't see it, but I also don't want to say never because, life is long. Michelle is saying hello to everyone. And greeting each other. I'm flashing out the messages of you guys greeting each other, even if I don't read all of them out. Brilliant. So I think we got to all the messages. Edon says, maybe a collaboration with a favorite artist would be in order for your own deck design. In theory, yes. In practice, my favorite artists already have their own deck of tarot. They don't need my interpretation. So yeah, no, if I was to do it, I would do it myself. You can call it control issues. I'm not even going to argue. If I was to do it, I would do it myself. But each artist interprets it themselves. I don't think within the concept of the tarot, I would want my own interpretation of it, even though I must admit that, the top two tarot decks that I work with, so the Thoth, which is the deck that I primarily read from, and the Rider-Waite-Smith, which is the deck that I primarily teach with, had different people as the brains and as the artwork. So here we had Alistair Crowley obviously creating all the descriptions and making the creative decisions, but this was drawn by Lady Frida Harris, who was also a mystic in her own right, obviously. And in the Rider-Waite-Smith, the card meanings were put together by A.E. Waite, but the drawings were done by Pamela Coleman Smith, who again was a mystic in her own right. Crystal says, I love the moon card, and I love that I'm a Pisces. I found some interesting images in Rider-Waite Tarot deck. I will share those with you later. Very curious. Why don't we start with that? Let me find the moon card. Sorry if you're going to notice that I'm suppressing yawns. I have had a very tired kind of day. I don't know if I'm coming down with a cold or if it's, you know, or if it's like just not sleeping enough or whatever. But whenever you see me pausing, it's because I'm not wanting to yawn. I don't want to be rude. I'm not finding it boring. I'm just very, very, very shattered. So this is the Rider-Waite moon as promised. And here we have, I think this is meant to be a dog and a jackal howling at the moon. We've got a crayfish climbing out from the water. We have a path going not quite all the way to the moon, but certainly under the moon. We have two towers, one on each side. We've got, this is the full moon. Underneath the moon, we have those droplets that are referred to as yods. How many droplets have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And we've got the rays around it. Again, let's go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. And the number of the card is 18. So who finds what curious in this card? So what we see here is basically embarking on a journey. I never realized that embarking and the fact that the dogs are barking, that's too much. It's too cute. So you're embarking on a journey. You're there either in the position of the crayfish, so you're coming out of the water, out of the emotion, out of being in your feelings, and you're starting a journey. So the moon is something that you aspire to. It could be an illusion, it could be a delusion, or it could be a dream that you have. And you start this journey. And we have the dog and the jackal. They're howling. It's a full moon. Your path is well lit. And as you advance, you stand in between the two towers. We don't know what's behind the towers. Will it be easy and straightforward to walk through? Are those watchtowers? Are you actually breaking away from somewhere? Are you actually breaking into somewhere? And if you follow the path, that is well lit by this moon, you will get to wherever you're getting. So because the moon card is Pisces, it can represent illusions, delusions, dreams, psychic ability. And when this card comes up for you, you might say to yourself, to the client, depends who you read for, you might say, keep walking, keep on your journey. All your dreams might be coming true. it can also tell you to keep dreaming. And it can also tell you, and that's kind of my favorite way of seeing it, that your dreams are unrealistic. And that is okay. My dreams were unrealistic. I had a dream, I had a big dream to be like a media psychic, to be like a press psychic. And this represents those unrealistic dreams, which are all about, um, belief and faith. And those unrealistic dreams could get you to exactly where you want to get. So let's have a look at a few messages. Thanks, Mary. I saw your message. Rob says, I was going to ask if you're feeling okay, but felt rude, like you seem unwell. I'm mid. Oh, suspected myself. 18 hours sleep yesterday and woke up like 4 hours and slept again for 7.5 hours. My goodness, that is confusing. Yeah, no, I'm not sick. You can see I'm fine. I'm just a little bit slow. A little bit slow, but I worked like full the whole day, and I had a lot of kind of driving back and forth and having to remember lots of things. So it's very possible that just like an 8-hour sleep will fix me right up. It's very possible. If, an 8-hour sleep in fact happens. Mark says, I've had a migraine since yesterday. Even my phone is on the almost lowest light you can think of. You look like you've been holiday. I think it's because the light is not very strong here, so it really like enhances my tan. Nilda says, I saw a pic of the full moon this morning. As a Scorpion, I find it speaks to me. And this morning I had 3 worried visions at 4:44 a.m. I wonder what that was about. Anyway, I started pray for all. Pray for you. So I just want to put that in the right deck. So 4:44 is really interesting because 4 is actually a wonderful number numerologically. It's a number of stability, security, good finance, sort of being in your comfort zone. So it's actually a very comforting, a very comfortable number. The worried visions might have had to do with the date. It was quite a harsh date today. The connection between the Scorpio and the full moon is undeniable, and really I hid away the card, but there's something about the crayfish that is very reminiscent of all the water signs. We've got it, coming out of the water like a fish, like Pisces. It looks kind of like a crab, like Cancer, and it also looks a little bit like a Scorpion. So for the Scorpios, so the full moon really relates to the water signs. The moon, of course, is the reason why we have the tides in the sea, why the sea sort of goes in and out. And therefore, the connection to water is undeniable. Even the concept, like the idea of lunacy, of moon sickness, and the madness that is supposed to take place during the full moon might influence water signs that, we have a tendency for madness anyway, might influence the water signs more than other signs because we really sort of feel the moon. But you know what? You said you started praying for all. That is already the best way to respond to it. So you're not sitting in your, oh, look, it's 22:22 in the UK now. Oh, can you see it? So countering your 4:44 with a 2222. You're not sitting in your worries and thinking, is this negative. Does this mean something bad for me? Does this mean something bad for the world? No, you absolutely sort of switch into solution mode. You're not in the problem, you're in the solution. Get a bit of prayer on. There's literally sort of no downsides to getting a bit of prayer on. There's no downsides to, lighting a white candle and connecting your energy to the universe and getting into that mindset of giving, of sharing, of supporting humanity. So Nelda, you did exactly the right thing. Mark says, indeed, when La Luna is full strength, she is a brilliant guide. I've used it to guide me many times in the past in the middle of the night when I've been lost. Oh, what kind of life out in the wilds have you been getting through? Rob says, sorry, I'm so sorry, Rob, you're is it getting chatting to Mark? Wonderful. The migraine, taking an anti-migraine tablet, trying to be careful. Yeah, I totally get it. We've got hello from everyone. Crystal says, last night when I saw the moon, it was the most magnificent illumination I've ever seen. I felt mesmerized, as if I could not look away. I instantly felt reconnected to everything. So we actually have a full moon in Aries today. So Aries would feel it quite strongly. Libras would feel it quite strongly because we are in the month of Libra. We're in Libra season. And as always, Cancerians feel the full moon, the new moon. Cancerians and the moon are just like absolute besties. So Crystal, I know what star sign you are, but have a little think if maybe you've responded to it very strongly. Is there an Aries in your life that needs that energy that you are providing? Could it be that there's something that is promised to you in the month of Aries coming up after the spring equinox? So it is fascinating. And, I really have to tell you, I envy you guys in the States, literally in all the other countries, so much, because here in the UK, and Mark support me on this one because we're just down the road from each other. More often than not, you will not see the moon because there are clouds all the time. Winter, summer, in betweens, the clouds just do not let us go. And it's such a delight, when you're on holiday and you look up and you actually see like the moon, the stars, all the basics. Let's scroll down and see who else we've got here. Rob says, I lost track of my days with all the sleep. The date is going to have trauma attached to it energetically for the rest of time. And Crystal is sending good wishes. Rob, Crystal is like the best for prayer. Make sure whenever you don't feel too good, she's a great person to connect with. And saying, feel better, Mark. Now, you see Crystal's words there, when she says, feel better, Robert, feel better, Mark. They're not just words. I can feel what you're sending. And you guys can get prepared to feeling much better very soon. Mark says, indeed, the full moon is why the word lunatic came around, because it was seen that people behaved worse at the full moon. So it's, when you look into like the rumors that there's like more crime on the full moon and stuff, you'll Google it and the Google will say stuff like, nothing has been proved, no scientific link has been found. And I'm like, oh, because when I used to live in Greece and we were like a small community, it'll be like, I don't know, maybe 100 of us all sort of working in the same village. Everybody was together all day. Everybody was, out together all night, every night. And we knew there was like more accidents at the time of the full moon. It doesn't make sense, does it? Why would there be more accidents when there's like more light? There was more accidents. There was more like, crazy behavior, perhaps beverage induced. There were more like public fights, like brawls and things during the full moon, like the day before, the day of, and the day after were always more awkward. And we would be there for just like 4 months. You'd arrive like June, July, you'd have like June, July, August, maybe September. So it would be really, really obvious that like the 3 times in the year, the 4 times in the year where everything was, a bit upside down, were those days of lunacy. I don't know if you felt the same, if you've ever sort of lived somewhere where you could see the moon like all the time, but when the Google says to you, there's not been any proved connection, I'm like, yeah, there's not been any proved connection for lots of things. Nilda says, awesome, beautiful. Mo Ali says, hello. Hi, Ali, or Mort. And Mark says, life in the wild. Wouldn't you like to know? I would. Nilda says, I did light a white tea candle. Fabulous. Fabulous. The white tea candle is like a blank color, so you can paint it in your mind's eye with whatever wish that you want. Using the white color in magic allows for that magic to sort of reach every little corner, whatever you want to like convert it to. Mark says, indeed, the clouds are terrible. So the only time you see the moon properly is literally once the blue moon, no pun intended. No, it's really, really true. Oh, Sabrina is here. We're just talking about Cancerians. Sabrina says, hola, hi, Inbaal. Hi, Sabrina. Good to see you. Did you get my message? Mark is saying hola to Sabrina. Lovely, lovely, lovely. We have lots of greetings here. Lots of greetings. We have a good anecdotal evidence from Mark, who says, I used to be a door supervisor back in the day. Trust me on this. People always acted more idiotic and fights, etc. happened then. But also the emergency services know it. I believe so. I believe so. I think that's very true. Sabrina says, happy full moon. Very happy full moon. Crystal says, my Aries in the 4th house in Venus. So your love life is connected with Aries. Very interesting. Crystal says, thank you. And Paul, that was very sweet. Yes, healing prayers to everyone indeed. And Sabrina says, I did do some candle magic for my daughter and I. You can't go too far wrong. You can't go too far wrong. I haven't done anything, but I think I'm looking around at my tea lights. Yeah, I might put a white one on before I go to sleep. You can't go too far wrong. Just ask for blessings and they'll go well. Crystal says, thank you. Yes, absolutely. Feel better. You're giving it to everyone now. All the blessings from Crystal. Right. Why don't we have a look at the moon card from the Thoth deck? So we have another full moon. The meaning obviously is quite similar. The image is a little similar, but not exactly. So I just want to get to the moon card and then we're going to share it together. It is so gorgeous. And it's very like creative, very imaginative, very gorgeously Pisces. Is Kim still here? I want to see if the Pisces are enjoying this. It's a real treat for us, right, Crystal? So there's the moon. It was nearly the final one. So first of all, let's have a little look what we're seeing here. And then we'll see what's similar and what's different. So first of all, right, didn't I say it was gorgeous? So we've got this gorgeous kind of undulating vibe going in the foreground, in the image, in the background. So gorgeous, sort of going up and down. Because if you know Pisces, you know we go up and down all the time. And it Kim heard my call of the wild saying, I'm here. There we go. This is for us. So where are we? Yeah, wonderful. So I'm just sort of sticking Crystal's message back on the screen so that I don't forget where we were, so I don't miss messages afterwards, because I get them all in order of being sent. So here we have a saccharab, like a beetle, climbing up, not so much from the water. It looks like it's coming from sand dunes. And in Egyptian mythology, the saccharab, the dung beetle, rolls its little ball of dung as it moves the sun across the sky. Oh, this is the sun, isn't it? Because I think is it Ra that moves the moon across the sky in the night? And I think the moon moving across the sky like a beautiful boat, and the sun moving across with the dung beetle. I think we can kind of tell that there was absolute favoritism and the moon got the better deal out of it. Here we have, rather than the sort of the dog and the jackal that we had there, we have two, I don't know if you can see the very shadowy tiny figures here. It might be a dog and a jackal as well, but above them we have two very impressively large statues of Anubis. I think it's both Anubis. I don't know for sure. And they're standing next to big dark towers, and the journey, like the path, doesn't just lead towards the moon, but we have paths on the moon itself. Those little droplets of divinity are here as well. Here we have 9 of them, whereas in the Rider-Waite-Smith we had 15 of them. And the moon doesn't have any rays in this one. So let's look at similarities and differences. Now, of course, I lost it again. So in the Rider-Waite-Smith, we had the crayfish as opposed to the dung beetle. In the Rider-Waite-Smith, we had the big canines here, whereas here they're teeny tiny. The towers are freestanding in the Rider-Waite-Smith, whereas here the towers have their own guardians, and they even have like little keys. So we've got keys on the Anubises, and we have water, as we should do, in the Rider-Waite-Smith, but in the Thoth, there's not really water. There's waves, like it could be water, but it's really like the dunes in the desert. And in the Rider-Waite-Smith, we are slightly more realistic, slightly more logical, in that we've got the path just on the ground, whereas in the Thoth, we're definitely less realistic, and we're going on the moon itself as well. It's very much a card that says dare to dream. You know, what's the worst that can happen? So let's have a look at a few more messages. Crystal says, our bodies are predominantly full of water. So just as the tides swell, so do our bodies, which causes pressure in our brain, same as the migraine would. Very true. Very, very true. I think the migraine and the full moon are, you know, possibly linked, just like Crystal is indicating. Mark says, I actually can't remember when I last cast a spell. It has been that long. It's many, many years ago. I suppose that makes me more pagan than Wiccan. Hey, I don't know. I think it's better for us to come together than to look for words that divide us. I do love a spell, I must admit, but I love a spell, when I need it. I wouldn't do a spell if I didn't need for things to happen, or or for my friends things to happen. Sabrina says, good things about cancers until we are upset. Yeah. So I was saying how the moon card, even though it's Pisces, it is also kind of connected to Cancer, because that crayfish is very like a crab, and also a little bit like Scorpio, because that crayfish is also a little bit like a scorpion. So we're all represented. Me, Kim, and Crystal, Pisces. Sabrina's Cancer, and Nilda is a Scorpio. So we've got a lot of water going on here. Kim said, I'm here. Sabrina says, not yet. I was in training. Big messages waiting for you. Mark says, yeah, the moon on Darth kicks booty. It really does. Rob says, Mark, maybe you don't need the spells anymore. You will it into being. I think that's very true. Very true. Mark says, maybe, Rob. I mean, I have stuff happen without the need sometimes. Exactly. Rob says, Pisces, and you're up and down. Can give us, Gemini, a run for our money. Yeah, do you know what? Gemini is like up and down, but I feel like they don't bother anybody about it. When Pisces are up and down, the whole world has got to go up and down with us. Pisces don't go up and down quietly. Pisces go up. I have to tell you, I had the ragiest rage. I had such a rage last night. I was going bananas. But yeah, so Pisces will just sort of get in there and, and go nuts, and everybody has to be a part of it. Gemini go up and down in the quiet, in the relative quiet of their own home. Mark says, indeed, Crystal, our bodies are something like 80% water, if I recall. Yeah, I think I heard like 70, but it's like a lot. Interesting shape there, very phallic. Actually, it's not phallic. It is the opposite. So the moon card represents the yoni, the lingam. It's the valley. So it matches with another card. Let me show you there in a second. We've got the Devil Tarot card, and the Devil Tarot card really is a little devil. It's Capricorn. And if I show you how well it matches, you might need to, to go and wash yourself, right? So this, can you believe it, is the Capricorn. This is the Pisces, and this is how they fit. So the Devil Tarot card represents the kind of directness of the phallic, and the Moon Tarot card represents more the receptive side. So yeah, they're like a matching set. Aren't they adorable? Crystal says, absolutely a treat. Massive treat, massive treat. Robert says, interestingly, for there to be a crayfish and a sack crab, both hard shells with juicy insides, may the juicy insides, for somebody that grew up around cockroaches, they're very common over there, like beetles, cockroaches. Just picturing the insides is not fun. Crayfish is a delicacy, isn't it? I mean, I don't eat animals myself, but so I hear. Maybe showing the emotion under the mask-like surface. Sounds right. Oh my goodness, look who we've got here. Eliseo, who is an incredible musician, and I hope very much that you all follow him on YouTube and on Instagram. Please copy the name, Eliseo Mauas Pinto, who is not only an incredible musician, phenomenal creator, and has his own elven AI that I played with a little bit, is himself an Aries. And so, an Aries who can enjoy this Aries full moon says, so inspiring to follow you always. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Amazing to see you on here. Thank you. Mark said, I just realized you cast to help me on my sea battle. Yeah, it's a long time ago, isn't it? Yeah, it was a long while ago. But yeah, I think because I really enjoy um, playing with magic, because I really enjoy the craft side of the craft, I am happy sharing of it. Crystal says, when I saw the image and you made the waving pattern, the first thing that popped in my head was the frequency of the moon. Then I started hearing a weird buzzing sound, I think coming from your phone. Ah, maybe it's, oh, do you know what it is? Washing machine. Because my phones are always on silent. If you ever ring me, don't ring me. Send me a message. My phones are always on silent. They make almost no noises at all. So yeah, you're hearing the washing machine. We have mommy, daddy, 4 children. The washing machine is always on. It's our biggest expense. Probably spend more on laundry than we do on holidays. Kim says, funny, I think Gemini gives me a run for my money in the respect that one moment they're fine, the next they aren't. I know, but they're so cool about, being fine, then not being fine. They're very aware of like who they are and what they are, and the fact that they can sort of go, from 0 to 100, from night to day, from like, feminine to masculine, without indicating. Mark is giggling at the typo from before. So Sabrina says, my old boss is a Gemini. He's so disorganized and all over the place. He gave me so much anxiety. I think any consecutive signs, except for maybe Virgo and Libra, but any consecutive signs can struggle sharing a space together. So you're Cancer, and you like for your space to be accessible, approachable, comforting, even. And the Gemini does not care at all. Like they'll go and tidy everything up like quickly one day, and then they'll let it like disintegrate for the next 3 years. So that's kind of two consecutive signs where one can sort of emerge from the other. And if we look at the other side of Cancer, we've got Leo, and Leo and Cancer are like really nothing alike at all, are they? Have we got any Leos here? Rob says, I feel like the Lust card gives us an internal shot of the big button. I think so as well, but with the Lust card. So for those of you not in the know, the Lust card in Thoth deck is a representation of the Strength card. So we've got the woman, we've got the lion. That's kind of where the similarity ends. And yeah, there's certainly a representation here that could allude to specific anatomical parts. But would it make sense to you if I say that I always feel like this card has to do with some, itchy conditions? Because look, this is like red. And here we've got those like patches. There's patches everywhere that I feel like they could be the patches that one might get if they don't keep very, very clean, for example. Rob says she didn't need the devil to press it for her. No, 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 no. This one, she doesn't need favors from anybody. She is happy, single, and ready to mingle. Nilda says, good night, everyone, to all blessings, hearts to all blessings. Very nice, very sweet. Kim says, my daughter is a Gemini, and I don't know what GRT is. Mark says, I can confirm that Inbaal's phones are always on silent. We met up recently. They were busy, but very silent. To be fair, mine is, except it comes through to my watch. Yeah, exactly. So I don't have a watch. My phones are silent. So when my phones are in the bag, they just have to get on by themselves, talk among themselves. If I put them on the table in front of me, I can see them like flashing when things come in, but also not on everything. On some things they flash, on some things they don't flash. Lorna is here quietly. Lorna says, yoo-hoo, I'm here, but trying to stream to my TV. You're showing up in a different color to usual. So maybe it's a different color because it's a different device. Crystal says, my husband is a Pisces with Gemini rising. He's quite a handful. Yeah, but he's your handful. Oh, Kim was saying grr. So let's put it up again. So Kim was saying my daughter is a Gemini grr. So we've got the Kim the Pisces with the Gemini daughter. We've got Crystal the Pisces with a husband who's Pisces with a Gemini rising. We've got Rob, who is in fact a Gemini. And I've got just a bit of Gemini. Mark, just so that we're clear, there's no way that message you send is making it to screen. I feel like you've been on your best behavior for 49 minutes. So you've just sort of let everything loose in one message. Even though the words that you put can all have different meanings. So I'm Pisces, and my Mars is in Gemini, which I think is sort of so curious. So as a Pisces, like I said, I get the rage, I go up and down, but my Mars, which is like where my temper is in Gemini, which I think is an improvement. So if my rage was just with my Pisces and Sagittarius moon, I could probably sort of stay rageful for 40 years at a time. I could have biblical rages. I could have a rage that is never, ever, ever, ever over. But because my Mars, angry planet, is in Gemini, Geminis get over stuff really, really, really quickly. That's the whole point. And that helps me. So the rage I had yesterday, last night, that rage was resolved by the people I was raging at. That rage was resolved within a couple of hours. So I went to sleep in a relatively good mood, woke up absolutely elated, very, very excited, very thrilled. Rob says, I have Venus in Gemini. I want sympathy. Give me the sympathy. Yeah, but with Venus in Gemini, on the one hand, you're going to want sympathy. On the other hand, don't touch me. Right? Because there's got to be one and the opposite. One and the opposite. Mark says, okay, I forgive you. By the way, I have no Gemini. I feel like I'm missing out. You're really, really not. You're really, really, you're fine as you are. Aquarius is plenty enough. And Rob says, I feel like Gemini will tell you they are mad and rant near you. Pisces do the retreating thing with their sulkiness. Like, you can just tell me what the issue is, please. Yeah. No, it's true. I can see that. Because my moon is in Sagittarius, then my rages are a little bit clearer. But if I'm sad as opposed to raging, then yeah, good luck getting it out of me. Oh, look who's here. This is Trevor. Trevor is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Instagram buddy of mine of, I think, like years now. How long have we followed each other? It must be years. Is it like 5 years? Was it before the lockdowns, after the lockdowns? So Trevor's jumped on. I've never seen him on our YouTube before, saying hi there, Inbaal. You know me on Instagram, of course, just passing through after a fantastic gaming night with my brother-in-law and a few pals. Love to you and family. Aquarius rules, right? So Mark has got a little friend here. My good friend Mark of many years is an Aquarian. Trevor, my Insta buddy, who is just the biggest heart, you will be unsurprised to hear, is an Aquarius as well. And all of you that think positive things about Aquarius, you've got some good examples here. Mark says, yeah, the only one with more aqua than me is E. That ladders so much, it makes me ashamed. And Rob says, hi, Trevor. Nice to see you pop in. Amazing. Right, you guys, if you see Trevor's name, Trevor Holohan, I hope I pronounce it right. I don't know how to do correct Irish pronunciation. Why don't you look for him, give him a follow. He is wonderful. He's an art school graduate and a real shining light of my Instagram existence. Mark says, evening, Trevor. Good evening, buddy. And Trevor says, hello there, Robert. Good to see you. Have a great night. Amazing to see you here. Right, you guys. So thank you so much for having a lovely long chat about the full moon. Have a great hunter moon. The full moon is a wonderful time to wish for things. It's a great night for manifesting. If there's things that you want, if there's things that you wish for, be it world peace or a pay rise, nobody's judging you. Just feel really settled, have a deep breath, light. Oh, thank you. Light a candle, and that candle will carry your blessings. It'll carry your hopes, your dreams, and help them come true. So Trevor says, hello there, Mark. Its pronunciation is Houlihan, Inbaal. Now you know. I would never have guessed that. Thank you so much. I was reading it in such an anglicized way. Houlihan. I've actually got 2 friends up here with the surname Cullinan, which I think, must be also very Irish. One is born Cullinan, but she pronounces it Cullinan because she's from Manchester. But born to Irish parents. And the other one married a Cullinan, so she pronounces it Cullinan. But it's very possible that all 3 of us are saying it wrong. Mark says your last 5 minutes. So thanks, Inbaal, as always. Take care and see you all Thursday morning with Inbaal and Laura and the kitties. Absolutely. So I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you so much for spending this hour with me. And I really, really hope that you enjoyed yourselves. I hope this full moon brings you everything you wish for. And the same for me too. I'm going with the world peace, and I hope quite a few of you are going with that as well. Have a wonderful night. Thank you so much.